Okay, but we are doing this last example. Okay, somebody read.
Suppose the system is made up of 2.5 moles of an ideal gas from which CV equals 20.8 joules per mole. Okay. It is taken through the cycle as shown in figure 4.11. Following the path of the arrows, the path point 3 to point 1 corresponds to a curve given by ideal gas equation, where T equals T1 equals T3. Calculate Q, W, delta U, and delta H for each segment and the totals.
Okay. Okay, so what do we do first? Let me write out everything that the question tells me. I'm going to use blue. Okay, so N is given as 2.5 moles, and I am given an ideal gas. And it does tell me T1 equals T3 equals T. So this is an isotherm. Good. And they give me a CV, which is 20.8 joule per mole Kelvin. And they also give me, these volumes and these pressures. So for all of these points, I've given those to you. Okay, so what are we looking for? All of these? So let me write out what I know. I know Q, pick a color.
Green.
Q is NC delta V. Depending on if it's a constant pressure or constant volume, it will change. Right? Then we have W, which is always minus P delta V. Then delta U from first law will always be Q plus W. And delta H will always be delta U plus delta PV. Okay, so these are the formulas I have. Oh, and also delta U could be NCV delta T. Well, you need to make your own. Okay, so starting at the beginning, let's do step 1 to step 2 first. I want you to make a table. Good luck to me.
Keep infinite space.
What am I looking for?
Q, W, W, W.
So Q, what else?
W,
W.
delta H.
Let me do delta U first, and then delta H. Because,
So U was next in the order.
yeah, it was asked, right? In that order. Okay, so
It's in a lowercase q.
step 1 to 2. Okay. What kind of a step is that? Constant pressure. Step 2 to 3, what kind of a step is that? Constant volume. Step 3 to 1, what kind of a step is that? Isothermal. Okay. So, what can I tell about where I should begin? So now we have to make educated guesses. So for a constant, let me do step 2 to 3. And then step, wait, how much space did I leave? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I should leave that much room. and then step 3 to 1. So this was my constant P, constant V, and isotherm. So everybody make this table, and then we will talk. Okay, what can you tell me about the constant volume step for W? Why? And if constant volume, work must be, okay. What can you tell me about the isothermal step of delta U? Isothermal means what? If change in temperature is 0, what can you tell me about the U? Must also be 0. So I'm going to write 2, 3, and 3, 1. Okay. Anything else I can think of? Oh, for a constant volume step, what can you tell me about the Q? Q equals delta U. Very good. Q equals delta U. So that means if I can only find delta U, I will be able to find Q. Correct? Okay. What else can I know?
You say Q equals 0 with the isothermal?
Is it 0?
But the change is 0.
Delta U is 0, but is the W 0?
No, but not Q 0, so Q.
No, I understand that. But great point. Look at it. So what do I know? Delta U equals Q plus W. So even though delta U is 0, what do we know? Q must equal negative W. So for an isothermal step, even though delta U is 0, but work could still be done and Q is still there.
I was looking at the MC delta T. Is that not the correct one to use?
No, not in this case. It is going to be correct for other ones to use, but not for particularly this case. And what is going to be the work done for an isothermal case? Wait, I need a new color. Ooh, I can do green galaxy?
Yeah.
That one. Okay. So this would be, what did you say? Negative? Because you do have an N that's given. You do know R. You do know T. Yeah, T is the same. But how do you find T? What equation? PV equals nRT. So 1 and 3 temperatures should be the same. Yes? So if I go back, which temperature should be the same? T1 and T3 temperatures should be the same. But does that mean T2 will be exactly the same? No. So you have to find T1, which equals T3, which equals something, and then T2 will be different. How do you find T1 and T3? What's the one thing we know? P1 V1 equals nRT1. And how will we find T2? P2 V2 equals nRT2. This is so cool. Okay, coming back. So we're filling these in. So I'm actually not going to solve the values for you, right? Just not the numbers. You guys should probably do that. Okay, now what about, which one should we do next? Oh, delta U. For a constant volume step. Guru, what were you saying? What should this be? CV delta T.
Words.
And this is a step between 2 and 3. So this should be NCV T 3 minus T2. And once we know the value of this, we can plug that value in here and get this value. So that's, no, why will delta T be 0?
Because in the
Look at the picture. Is T2 and T3, why would it be 0?
it says T1 or T is equal to T1, which is equal.
Yes, but look at this. This is T3 between step 2 and 3. I just went through this whole thing right here. Yeah. Yeah, so only remember in these steps, the isothermal part will be where the temperatures are the same. Okay? Okay, next. W, which is minus P delta V. Do we have a value of V? Oh, sorry, do we have a value of P? Do we have delta V? Can we plug those numbers in and solve? Okay, what is delta U in this case? Q plus W. And then this one is Q12 and CP delta T. Write that value down. CP should be 29.1 joule per mole Kelvin. Okay, what else are we missing? Oh, delta H's. We never talked about delta H's. Are we done with the other things? What's the formula for delta H? Pick a color.
Purple.
Purple. Delta H was what? Anyone remember? Yep. And we are using ideal gas, so what should we do with delta PV? NR delta T. Woohoo! So we have solved for delta U. Yes? Plug this value in here. N is a constant, R is a constant. Delta T in this case will be T2 minus T, T2 minus T1. Solve for T2, solve for T1, plug them in. How will you do the delta H for step 2 to 3? The same. But in this case, what will be delta T? The difference between 3 and 2? Yes? So it'll be nRT3 minus T2. And what will the delta H for this be? For an isotherm? Right. And what is T1 and T3? So what will be the answer? There we go. Yes.
So we calculated QWT using.
Wait, say that again?
We calculated all of them, but what's it mean by the cycle?
So what you will do at the end is you're going to add all the numbers that you get. Perfect question. So total will be, add the numbers for all of them. So like, for example, this would be Q12 plus Q23 plus Q31. Get it? So whatever numbers you're going to get, you're just going to add them together. This will be W12 plus W23 plus W31. That's the total cycle. You just literally will add. And I believe this one will come out to be 0 and this one will come out to be 0.